Peace and bliss. Welcome back to Reclaiming Our Roots. This is Tanya, and we are back for a second installment of our spring garden tour. I just wanted to pop in and give you all a quick update on the progress in the garden. We have some new additions. We have some basil here, purple basil, more basil, pineapple. Sage is a new one to the garden this year. Drink a lot of tea with those. More basil for the pesto, more pineapple, sage, more basil. I don't know if you all recall from the last video, this container had onions in it, and I decided to remove those because they started to die. And as you can see here, we have a collard plant that has been riddled with green worm activity. So I'm just going to allow, I may pull this thing, I'm going to pull this up. I was able to harvest a few leaves to make some collard wraps. So, but this is on its last leg and on its way out. This is a tomato variety called I do not know because I lost the label. So we shall see as it matures along in the growing process. But this was grown by yours truly. And over here I have a German Queen. It's a heirloom tomato, which is a thick slicer. It's new to the garden this year. And again we have another, I do not know what it is, sown by yours truly. We shall find out later on as it matures. I did pick up another, I think this is zucchini. Yes, this is a zucchini squash that I will be planting today. And over here, I have a hot banana pepper here. And over here, I have some sweet peas that I have to harvest. As you can see that they are big and succulent. I cannot wait to devour these. It's only about a handful, but it's just enough for a stir fry. We have a red cabbage here that is blossoming beautifully. More green cabbage. This one here is starting to form a head. So I'm looking forward to that one to maturing. Another purple cabbage, more cabbage, more cabbage. This is a collard. No, these were Brussels sprouts, but this is not going to go very far. I believe this one is about to soon start to seed. So, excuse me guys. I'll be pulling that one up. We have another purple cabbage. This here is collard. Harvest a couple off of this one. And this is a collard plant that has gone to seed, or is in the process of going to seed. As you can see, this is what it looks like. Okay, we will soon start to set pods. And the pods are edible, by the way. Okay, you can eat those. I've never tried them, but I have seen some people that have. They said it has like a little spice to it. More collard, cabbage, cabbage, cabbage. More cabbage, and then I have a collard plant here, as you can see, is starting to make its way to seed. And I have a beautiful and gorgeous thyme and rosemary. It is starting to go to seed, it's starting to set flower, and it is absolutely beautiful. I consume from this plant daily. I add it to my culinary cuisines. I am an avid cook, so I love cooking with fresh herbs. I will be doing some drying. Let me take you to the other side. Over here is our Meyer Lemon plant. It is coming along beautifully in our key line. And over here, I did a video on these. These are bulb plants. All you have to do is just add water. And I believe this one is the purple and green elephant ears. And this one is a container of lilies that is starting to peek out there. Have a parsley plant. As you can see, it's on its way going to seed. Temperatures have really skyrocketed in our neighborhood. We've been consistently in the 80s and 90s. Last night we did get our first downpour. They're calling for more rain tomorrow, which is Friday and Saturday. So, but it's really been a scorcher, so I expect my herbs to fizzle out. And over here we have our two blueberry bushes. And as you can see, we have blueberries. So we are impatiently awaiting the ripening process on these. And over here, these are our Yukon Gold potatoes. As you can see, they are in the process of starting to die back, which is what, excuse me, which is what you want to see. Once these die back and turn completely yellow, I will bring you all along for the potato harvest. I have a total of 10 containers of the Yukon Golds. We have more kale, collards, kale. I've been harvesting off of this one, adding it to our smoothies. We have more kale. And this here we have a hybrid crop. This here, guys, believe it or not, is a red Pontiac potato leaf. If you remember last year, my whole debacle with growing red Pontiacs, I grew them as determinants and later learned that they were indeterminate variety, which requires a mound up process or mound up method when growing. And it was a complete bust. But apparently there was a seed potato left behind and it's sharing a pot with this kale. So curious to see what we yield from that. More kale. And here we have butternut squash that has sprawled along the wall here behind the kale plant. And I'm looking forward to growing this one this year. This is new to the garden. But what I'm experiencing, guys, is I need to bring the pollinators to the yard, or I may have to do some manual pollinating, because as you know, we need the bees to pollinate the flowers so they can push forward the fruit. I did have one that had blossom end rot, and I'm thinking it was blossom end rot, as you can see here, but I think that's due to the plant not being pollinated. Again, we have another I do not know what it is variety. We shall see later on as it continues to grow out. Over here, new to the garden this year, I have a giant Marconi. Heard a lot about these peppers. I hear that they are really nice stuffing size peppers that are really sweet and delicious. Can't wait to try those. And also, which is not new to the garden, is the xoxo pepper. Absolutely enjoyed those last year. Did a lot of stir frying with those. So I'm looking forward to experiencing those again this year. Another transplant, we have a Black Beauty, grew that last year. And over here, we have sweet potato slips. Remember this sweet potato slips that I grew? Well, these are it. These are the garnet reds. No, garnet red and jewels. So there's two varieties here. So more were planted at the community garden. I will bring you all along for that video when I'm back on that side of town. And again, looks like we have an issue here where you can see it wasn't pollinated. Well, that may be blossom end rot. Leave me a comment if you can distinguish what's going on with that. Is it blossom end rot or is it lack of pollination? And over here, new to the garden this year, is a Whopper Tomato that I'm trying, which is a huge slicer that can grow up to, that can weigh as much as 2 to 3 pounds. Great, looking forward to that. More sweet pepper. And here we have a Rutgers heirloom tomato that is new to the garden this year. So not much, well, some progress. Looking forward to harvesting these potatoes. These were planted in March. We figure next month, June, we'll be ready for harvest. We have more Yukon Gold potatoes. Like I said, I have a total of 10 containers. And I have a video coming up, guys. I can share with you all what I am dealing with my apple trees. They have succumbed to apple scab. As you can see, the black lesion, the darkening of the leaves, I had to treat it with, what's the name of it? Copper fungicide last week. I failed to bring you all along for that, but it does require treatment every 7 to 10 days. So on the second treatment, I will bring you all along for that and show you what apple scab is, how to treat it, and what are some of the causes of apple scab. But as you can see, we have apples, guys. We have apples. this is, okay, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. So this is the Honeycrisp tree. As you can see that we have apples. Look at that. I am so excited, guys. I cannot believe I'm growing apples in the back of my home. Okay, and over here you can see this one too. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on with my phone. I think maybe it's overheating, so I'm gonna make this quick and wrap this up. Down at the bottom, we have chocolate mint. I have been enjoying this herb immensely. I have it in my tea. My daughter and I are gonna make some chocolate mint vegan ice cream, and we cannot wait to devour that. I may show you all that process. We shall see. But with the Honeycrisp, we're also experiencing apple scab with that one as well. But I will go into detail on a future video on how I have remedied or am remedying that that situation. And over here, guys, this is the onion bed growing superstar in candies. As you can see, we have some bulbing activity undergoing here. So far, so good. I have not spooned around the base of the onion plants to loosen up the soil. They're making their way out on their own. So nature knows what she's doing. I'm taking cues from her. So if I see that it requires my involvement, then I will insert myself. But as they say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So it looks good. And over here, again, issue. This is a squash plant, and as you can see in there, it looks like blossom end rot or lack of pollination. I'm starting to suspect the latter because I did amend these beds with calcium, and that's generally what the case is. It's either inconsistency in watering, or it's a calcium deficiency. And I've been consistent in both regards. So I'm beginning to think it's due to a lack of bees. And I've noticed we've never had a huge influx of bees because we're kind of on the end unit in our development on our street. We're in unit, and there's not very many bees around here. So that was a concern of mine last year. I wanted to embark on beekeeping this year, but I've overextended myself with a community garden. So I asked the beekeeping this year, but it will be a new addition to the garden next year. I will have time, space to accommodate that. Oh, almost forgot. This is the lemon balm. The lemon balm is the bomb. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? All full and stuff. I absolutely love her. I pick from her every day. I make lemon balm tea. And the next recipe I'm making with her is a lemon balm dressing. I may share that with you all as well. Okay, guys, well, that's about it. I'm going to let you all go. This wraps up today's garden tour. But that's what the garden is looking like. And yeah. Most of my time is spent as of late, has been at the community garden, getting that established. It has been a laborious process. If you've been following me along, you will see the issues that we encountered with the soil and also the solution to make progress. So if you missed that video, I will link the playlist in the description box so you can go check that out. Oh, look at this beautiful web. Look at that. I will link that in the description box. But other than that, so far so good. Oh, let me show you what's going on in the front of the home. This is a calendula plant, as you can see. It's starting to flower. This was just a little experiment plant. I put 2 collards in there. I'll give those to my worms. This is another calendula plant. And this is rue. This is rue. It's great for aromatic, and it's also supposed to repel insects. Look at that. Not much of a repellent, now is it? Caterpillars all over this thing. So we'll see. I'll come up with a usage for it. And as you can see here, look at that, look at that. See the size of that beet? I'm gonna harvest some of these beet leaves and add them to a smoothie or make a salad out of it. So these will be ready to harvest. As you can see, the leaves are starting to turn yellow and die back, indicator that we are approaching harvest time. Trying to zoom in where you all can kind of get a glimpse of the size of some of these beets in here. Nice sizable sizes, so can't wait to harvest those. I'll bring you all along for that. We have more basil for the pesto. And Miss Figgy is doing beautifully well. She's all full and green. I'm hoping next year she will bear fruit for us. But yeah, she looks good. Okay guys, well, I'm gonna wrap up this garden tour. The next time you see me will be at the garden, community garden, or the farm. I should just call it a farm because it is a farm, but farm filled with community growers. So I have been learning so much, and I cannot wait to share with you all. Welcome, new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Glad to have you here. On your way out, please like, comment, share the video. Until the next time, peace and bliss and happy gardening.